That's right, Coventry City 3, Charlton Athletic 1. It's not the greatest vintage Coventry performance we've been so accustomed to this season so far. The first half wasn't necessarily the greatest, probably the first 15 minutes, but after that, it was all Coventry, and what a treat it was to watch in the second half. If you're going to enjoy this video, a like would be appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the account. Without further ado, let's jump straight into the game. I felt like we were very scared to attack them at times. We were very pedestrian. We knock it around the back four. We weren't trying to press them as we usually do. We weren't playing those long balls in behind, attacking their fullbacks. We kind of had Grimes sitting in the defence, knocking it between the two centre-backs, and he was just stuck on the ball at certain times. It was a really bizarre first 40 minutes for Coventry, conceding that goal in the 13th minute by Nibs. I mean, what an atrocious goal to concede, let's be real. Defending wise, not good enough, but there's a little bit of a luck that goes towards their goal. It deflects straight to their striker, he opens the body up and takes a shot. Rushworth probably could have closed it a little bit better, but other than that, it was a really sloppy goal to concede for Coventry, and we find ourselves 1-0 down. Let's be real, they didn't necessarily play the greatest football today. They had 2 or 3 good chances on the counter-attack, which they could have been 2 or 3-0 up if they took all their chances, but we know football's not like that. You don't take every single chance that you have on goal. And that was in the first 20-25 minutes, if my memory serves me right. And then after that, as I mentioned, it was all Coventry. We started to attack them just a little bit better every 5 minutes. We started progressing a little bit more, and you could see we were lacking Sakamoto on that right hand side. Rodoni tried to fill in at times. Milan Van Ivek tried to fill at right wing when he was playing a right back role at times, which left us sort of vulnerable at that right back position. I don't think Jack Rodoni can play on that right hand side. Of course, he has the left foot, so it makes sense. Pop him on the right, left foot like Sakamoto, but he doesn't have that jinkiness that Tats have. Rodoni's better when he's driving at defenders through the midfield and then playing that splitting ball behind, which he did a couple of times today. A couple of things that happened in the first half that really annoyed me is we got into the box like Jay De Silva in the first half, and instead of shooting it with his left foot, he tried to cut it back onto his right and lay it off. It's that extra pass sometimes is not necessary in football games. There's a couple of times in the game also where we just take shots and it's like, why are we taking shots when we don't need to? It's really annoying, and it's trying to find that balance of playing that extra pass and then shooting at the right moment is what we really struggled with today. Jack Rodoni starting as the number 10 or on the right hand side. I think he did really well to play, 80 minutes today. That was absolutely fantastic. That's good minutes in his legs. I think he came off and said something to Lampard. I don't know if he picked up another knock or not. I don't think he did. I think he's fine. But it was really good to see him back on the turf, especially for that Ipswich game coming up. Sims up front, scores 2 goals. I mean, his goals to game ratio right now, it's got to be great, doesn't it? Here it is on the screen. I mean, he's just so good whenever he starts a game. He scores a goal. It's really lethal in front of goal. And thankfully, he is firing because no Thomas Asante, no Haji Wright. Ellis Sims is the man that we are relying on up front. And last season and the start of this season, he wasn't at the races. But now he's got the confidence. He scores 2 goals. That was a great header by him in the first half. And then the second goal, he's in the right place at the right time. You'll say it's an easy goal to score. Of course it is. But it's the movement to make yourself available in that position, which is really impressive. What we should have done in the game a lot more, in my opinion, is had Mason Clark absolutely running at Ramsey at right back. He was on a yellow card in the first, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We should have had him going at him every single time. For some reason, we didn't want to maybe push Mason Clark too much because he is only coming back from an injury and he's a very explosive player. We know how he is at this level. A couple of muscle pulls, so we don't want to necessarily stress him out too much. But I wanted to see us attack that left-hand side just a little bit more, especially at Ramsey at right back. But today, going towards the referee, of course, it feels like I talk about referees every single game because they're just so bad at this level. And the Milan Van Ivek penalty shout is one of the worst diabolical decisions I have ever seen, never given. He runs through on goal. The guy grabs him with 2 hands, pulls his shirt. I don't want to pull my shirt because it's a pretty nice shirt. He grabs his shirt like that, pulls him down, and the ref goes, no. So the ref is basically saying, it's either you've dived and you've tried to win a penalty or it is a penalty. So he's told him he's dived, which I mean, how does the linesman not say anything for one? Let's be real. The referee absolutely bottled it, and we were 1-0 down at that time. Anything could happen in football. And I believe after that is when they had that counter attack down the left hand side and they had that shot at goal and Rushworth made the good save with his left foot. I believe that's the instance. We could have been 2-0 down. It could have gone absolutely carnage in the stadium. I mean, there could have been riots. I'm not kidding. It was that bad of a decision. I think Charlton Athletic were counting their lucky stars at that time because any football fan in the galaxy can see that's a penalty, and I can't believe you didn't give it. But we won the game despite the referee today. There's a couple of instances today in the midfield where they totally handballed it. His arm was up here, not the penalty spot, not that one. That's definitely not a penalty. He's turning away and it hits him there. But in the midfield, he hits his arm here, no handball given, and I'm just sitting there going, why do we get incompetent refs at this level? It must be every single championship game, let's be real. They're not just ganging up on Coventry, being terrible for us and for the opposition every single time we play a football game. Because I would say he was poor for both teams today. He wasn't poor just for us. There was a couple of instances, like I said, we made terrible tackles, and because we're the home team, we get away with it. That's sort of an unwritten rule in football for referees nowadays, is they heavily lean on the home team, which I don't like necessarily. I want it to be an even game of football, but it just feels like that's what they do nowadays. But yeah, the referee was terrible today, didn't give the penalty, but thankfully Eccles scores that goal, comes down the left hand side. Mason Clark probably should shoot it, but I think he had that chance beforehand and then lays it off to Eccles. Eccles does a really good job of opening up his body, and he basically just passed it into the back of the net, and that's all you need at this level, and that's all Lionel Messi did most of his career. You pass the ball into the bottom corner. You imagine there's a football player in the corner of the goal and you're passing it to him. Easy, put a little bit of pace on it. Fantastic finish. It's 1-1 at that stage. I'm thinking we're going to go into half time. We are the better team at the moment. Yeah, Charlton Athletic had two really good chances after they scored that one goal, but it was just pressure by Cov after that. And then Ellis Sims, the GOAT himself, it is absolute cinema. He goes and scores a header, and we're 2-1 up. And before you know it, everyone's kind of like, yeah, don't worry about the penalty shout. Well, we're 2-1 up, even though we should be 3-1 up. And yeah, I know we only scored one goal in the second half compared to the first half, but we played a much better brand of football. We had a better XG. We had the same shots on target. We had less total shots, but we didn't need to necessarily extend ourselves too much. There was a point where we were 2-1 up, and we were just knocking it around the back four. And they had no pressure on us at all. They weren't even going for the ball. They weren't even going for our goalkeeper, our two centre-backs. They were basically standing on the halfway line just watching us play football. It was really bizarre to watch them not go for us because, you know what? They went 1-0 up. They showed a couple of good signs in that first half where they could attack us, they could get at us, and they just sat back at 2-1 down. I couldn't believe what I was watching. And I knew if they get one chance, they're probably going to score. It's going to be 2-2. We're going to be kicking ourselves. But then the Sims, the GOAT again, delivers. We have that shot. I don't know who it was. I think it was Jack Rodoni had the shot. It deflected straight into Sims's path and he just taps it in. A little bit similar to the kitchen one that we scored against Middlesbrough. He's there at the right moment. He just taps it in. It's 3-1. Game, set, match. We win the game 3-1. I mean, we could have probably won 4-1. We could have maybe gone for them a little bit more, but we had that 2-goal cushion and it was towards 15 minutes left of the game. So I'm not complaining too much. I think the performance in general, I'm pretty satisfied with it. I'd probably give it like a 7.5, 8 out of 10. As I mentioned, the first 35 minutes, I was a little bit annoyed because we're so pedestrian. We're too scared to make any sort of driving runs at their fullbacks and their defenders. But then after we got that first goal, we just kicked on probably till about the 85th minute. So it was a really impressive 3/4 of the game. The first 25 was not good enough. It was a good performance. 3 points is 3 points. We're 10 points clear at the top of the table. Let's move along to my player ratings. Let's go. Carl Rushworth in goal. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I think he had a couple of good saves. Obviously, that one that I mentioned before where they're through one-on-one on the left-hand side. Good save with his left foot. His distribution was pretty good today. There was a couple of times where he did that little dink to Jay De Silva at left back and Matt Grimes. It worked out pretty well, so I was pretty impressed by him today. Milan at right back, I'll give him a 7 out of 10 also. I don't really see him doing anything wrong in this game from memory, if it serves me right. There was one instance where he lost possession and then he tried his hardest to win it back. He didn't win it back in the end, but it was just a work rate again to go and try and win that ball. Try. And that's what Milan gives you every single time. It was great to see him come off, was it 6 minutes early, so about the 88th minute for Kane Kessler-Hayden. That's some good rest for the Ipswich game coming up. Next up, Bobby Thomas, I'll give him an 8 out of 10. This guy is a genius. what a bounce back it is from the Borough game where he scores the own goal, and in this one here, he's arguably man of the match. He was so good in defence, and Kitchen alongside him. I don't think Kitchen played poorly today. I see a lot of people slating him online. I thought he was probably a 7 out of 10. He was the worst out of the two centre backs, but he didn't play poorly at all. I think he did really well alongside him. A couple of mistakes. There was that one instance where he tries to head of the ball and he misses it, and they could have scored in the second half. Other than that, he played a really good game. Jada Silva at left back, I'll give him a 7.5. I think he was the best out of Milan and himself. He just looked really good, and he didn't look like he's been affected by that poor performance that he had against West Bromwich Albion. He's bounced back really well, and that's fantastic to see. Bidwell came on for him. Bidwell, I don't even know what he did. I didn't even know if he made a pass or not. But let's be real, he is no Jada Silva at this level. Victor Torp in the midfield, 8.5. Oh my god, this guy can play some football, can't you? Just the way he jinks past players. He has that sort of Paul Pogba-esque in the midfield where he just drives through the midfield, and anyone who tries to put in a tackle to him, he kind of just shoves them off with his arm. There's a couple of instances where the ball gets stuck under his foot, but he's that type of player where it'll look a little bit messy at times, but he knows what he's doing, and he's gonna absolutely kill it. And 8.5 for me, arguably man of the match. Grimes in the midfield alongside him. I will give Grimes, it was an interesting one because the first half, like I mentioned, he didn't really have too much to do. He was trying to conduct, but it wasn't working to his favour. I'll give him a 7.5. I mean, we only conceded one goal. It wasn't his mistake. He ran the midfield as usual. Their midfield was trash besides Coventry. Let's be real. He was the only shining light for them in that midfield role. So I think I'll give Grimes, I'll give him that score. Mason Clark on the left-hand side, I'll give him an 8 out of 10. I liked him a lot driving at the fullback, but I wanted to see it a little bit more, especially in that first half where he had that yellow card. I'm just a little bit disappointed not to see it as much. Yeah, he was kind of attacking him at times, but I wanted to see him really go at him and make him commit a tackle, which would get him sent off. But that's not going to happen every single game. I was really impressed by him. He got the assist, obviously, in the game. He's just so good on that left-hand side, and it's such a shame that he's so injury prone because he's such an explosive player. Eccles, I'll give him an 8 out of 10. I don't understand the agenda in the fan base about Josh Eccles. Is he the most sexy player to watch on the pitch? No. Does he do the easy job? I think he does. I think he gets the ball, he knocks it to the left, knocks it to the right. Sometimes he drives with it and loses it. That's going to happen. He's a holding midfielder playing an attacking mid-role, and it's his first season doing it. He's not going to be perfect at it, but I think when you see him on the ball, he's nice, he's neat, he's tidy, and his finishing is excellent at this level, and he's a good impact player. I don't think he deserves to be in the starting 11 when everybody's fit and everyone's at their best, but I don't understand the people who are saying, I'd sell him tomorrow. I think that's an agenda that I can't get on board with. I just don't understand it. I really love him. I've got him on my shirt collection there. Josh Eccles on the back, Coventry lad. I think we should support him a little bit more. That's all I think about him. And then Sims up top, I've got to give him a 9 out of 10. He scored the 2 goals. He gets man of the match again. Last game, Liam Kitchen gets man of the match, even though he gets a 10 out of 10. But this game here, Sims scores 2 goals. He wins us the game. He solidifies our result at 3-1. He was just really good today. His distribution necessarily wasn't as good as it was against Middlesbrough. There was a few headers where it went wayward. He was doing his usual Sims jump. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Sims jump is basically where he jumps for the ball, but he doesn't look like he's ever going to get it. It's one of those things where footballers do it where it makes them look like they're going for the ball, but in honesty, they're just not. They're not getting anywhere near it. He did that a few times today, which that is a little pet peeve of mine. That's a little personal pet peeve. But other than that, couple of good headers on, a couple of good flicks on, especially when we went to that back five and Mason Clark played alongside Ellis Sims up front. The first time that we saw it, I think he flicked it on to Mason Clark, or it was vice versa. But he played really well up front. I'll give him a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10, definitely. Substitutions, we used all 5 subs today, and what did I say? I said if we were winning this game 3-4-0, then Lampard would look to use his subs, and he did that to a T. Kai Andrews came on in the 88th minute, can't really judge him too much. He got, 1 or 2 touches on the ball, so I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Kane Kessler-Hayden came on for Milan, again came on in the 88th minute, 6 out of 10 for me, didn't do anything wrong. Bidwell at left back, I'll give him a 6 out of 10. I mean, everyone kind of dishes on Bidwell, but he's one of those players in the football club that I've heard behind the scenes that he's just there for team camaraderie. He's there for the banter. Look, that's all and good, but I still want him to perform when he comes onto the pitch. Let's be real. And if we're paying him, I don't even know how much, 10,000, 5,000, I want him to perform. I don't want him just being there for comedic relief. I could do that. Just sign me up, Coventry. Moving on to Jamie Allen in the midfield. He came on in the 80th minute. I'll give him a 6.5. He does the usual stuff. Harassment. He harasses you. Call the police because Jamie Allen is on your back. Jesus Christ. Every time I watch him in the game, he's just always on somebody, always niggling. Just that niggly player that you hate to play against. And he did it again to a T. I'll give him a 6.5. Really good today. And then Luke Wolverton at centre-back. This is going to be the most interesting one that I've done because I don't know how I feel about Wolverton. Earlier in the season, I said, why is he not playing at centre-back? He's a Premier League centre-back and he's played there before and he played for Ipswich Town when they got promoted. But then he comes onto the pitch and he looks like he hasn't kicked the ball ever. Footmob gave him a 6.5 rating. I don't know how he got a 6.5. I think he's lucky to get a 6 rating. There's a couple of times he made a mistake in the game and I get it. He's coming into a team and he hasn't necessarily played too much football. But a player of his quality, it's so bizarre to watch him come on and just look like he's never kicked a football in his life. I don't get it. I absolutely don't get it. But thankfully, we didn't concede a goal. He technically kept a clean sheet when he came on. So I'll give him a 6 out of 10. But I don't know where to go with Wolverton. I really don't. Let me know in the comments. Am I being really harsh on him? But every time he comes on, especially Wrexham game, conceded 3 goals at centre-back. This game here looks like he's never kicked a football. I don't get it. But hopefully he can improve because if we get an injury to Thomas or Kitchen, which it looked like at one point Thomas was injured, Wolverton needs to step up. And he has those abilities in him. We know that. But he just needs to show it in a Cov shirt. Moving along to Lampard, I'll give him an 8 out of 10 today. First 15, as I said before, not good enough. Gives them a kicking. Second half, we play a lot better. He matches their formation like he did in the Middlesbrough game. Middlesbrough went with a back 5, back 3. He did that, and it was exactly the same today. Charlton Athletic changed their formation a little bit, and then we just matched them up, and we nullified them in the midfield and on the wings. We had all the ball in the second half, and they had no idea what to do with it. And that's why, as I mentioned before, they just sat off us and didn't want to press because they knew that they can't get the ball off us. We were winning 2-1. It was easy peasy. So as that result, it means we are sitting first in the league, 18 played, 13 wins, 4 draws, and of course that 1 loss. 50 goals scored now for the season is absolutely insane. You know, I kind of want it to be 3 goals a game, so technically we should be on about 54 goals if I want to be really, really greedy. Positives in the whole EFL Championship to look at, of course, is Stoke City losing their game. You've also got Ipswich Town losing against Oxford United 2-1, which was, I never thought I would see that happen. So that was positives, but all around us, everybody won. Middlesbrough got those late goals. Millwall got a late goal. Bristol City won. Preston North End won, and Hull City won. So we haven't necessarily built up a gap. We're still 10 points clear, but that gap to Ipswich Town is now currently 15 points, and they have a game in hand on us. So that's looking really good for that top spot. Let's be real. That's my match reaction to Coventry 3, Charlton Athletic 1. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps out and it pushes this content to even more Coventry City fans. So there's no risk in doing it. Just hit that like button. It really helps me out, and then we can grow this fan base even more. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications for my match previews and match reactions to Coventry City content. And I've got a special video coming up this week where I'm going to be reacting to one of the famous games of Coventry City's history because I watched it for the first time ever. So make sure you're subscribed for that one. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss that one. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.